going back to the narrative question, who benefits from the narrative? Mm-hmm. When you shift narratives, when you're more inclusive in narratives, when you do that work, you've also kind of messy things up typically. Mm-hmm. It's convenient for me to say when a relationship ends, man, that person was crazy. Easy narrative. It puts the onus on the other person who's not even there to make their case.
To defend themselves, right.
But for me to say, well, in truth, neither of us could figure out how to honor each other. That opens up a whole conversation.
Ooh. That's a deep statement.
And that's accountability on both sides. Mm. How do you move from that space without stepping into newness? But that's why, and shout outs to Dr. D'Angelo wrote this book called White Fragility. Mm-hmm. It's why are people so fragile in the consideration of newness when it's so blatant? Yeah. How can cognitive dissonance be such a thing? How can the rhetoric, which is an extension of the narrative, not change when the evidence has changed?
Yeah.
Because people are tethered to something that allows them to continue to maintain their comfort.
Yeah.
And if you value comfort over consideration, there's no room for newness. Mm. There's no room for humanity.
That part right there.
Because only humanity you're willing to preserve is that which preserves your own comfort. And change, progress, growth, compassion is not about convenience.
Yeah. No.
It's hard.
Change is not about convenience. I mean, all of it. In order for something new to happen, there's going to be compromise, there's going to be vulnerability, there's going to be uncomfortable moments. Even back to a relationship. As happy as something that is so joyful when people say you're in the honeymoon phase, right? You start with a relationship. You're still taking an individual person and blending two lives together. That's not an easy task if it's done right. Right. Otherwise it's not done right, and then it blows up in your face, and then you move on to the next, and you have collateral damage from that, and now you have baggage into your new relationship. But it's the same thing. If you're trying to create a movement, if you're trying to create change, if you're trying to pass a law, if you're trying to anything that we're seeing right now, none of that is going to be an easy task.
Right.
And I think that at least is what I'm getting from it, is that as much as white people, Latinos, all of the communities, women, men, all of that can stand up and say, we support the Black community for what is happening, that's great. And I know that the Black community is feeling that support and love, but we're not the ones uncomfortable. We're in a march with, right? Like you're saying, all of the things that you have to think about, or that you're going through in your head, or that the conversations that Black parents have with their kids, all of those things, that doesn't affect us directly. So that doesn't have to make us uncomfortable if we don't want it to. Does that make sense?
I think that's well stated.
Does that make sense?